Then you would get more and more adventurous, and you would make further and further out gambles as to what you would dream. And finally, you would dream where you are now.
Come on, brother.
Coming from the cracks and the crevices, looking for a way back home. Down these 11 is my medicine. Looking for a way back home.
Today, I really got to know my feelings very well. When someone mentions love, it's got to do with you. It's just a Sunday night, I'm round at my address. You need to give me time for me to look my best. It occurred to me just when you know who you are. You start to look around the place and then things fall apart. As I walk out my house, the more you still feel listening. Cause I came to tell you I just walked 10 miles in every step along my journey. I had wished that you might follow. You were never there behind me. I've got 5 minutes to curfew and I'm still waiting here for you. When you enter out the shadows, we can find a way together, maybe.
Coming from the cracks and the crevices, looking for a way back home. I swear to God, you got angels you ever seen. Looking for a way back home. You nurture me, losing touch with you ain't nothing worse than that. You would finish my sentence, connect the words for me. Right out of Tokyo, I took that personally. You're on your selection, playing them songs from my affection. You don't mind to fuck my intellection. You always keep me in your selection. That's my shawty, that's my rider, my selector. That's my shawty, that's my rider, my selector. That's my shawty, that's my rider. Now my selector. I select you. Make me make my imprint on you. I select you. Make me make my imprint on you. DJ, pull up the tune, burn up the room, straight to the moon again. Prima donna, pre-made. Act like a fool, and me and you breaking the rules again. Could never see you as just a friend. Would you take the time? I put the key inside and put the beat in drive. D&D reply, but I look you in your eye. My reminder, my selector. Selector, selector. That's my shawty, that's my rider, my selector. That's my shawty, that's my rider. Now my selector. I select you. Make me make my imprint on you. I select you. Make me make my. Now my selector. that's my shawty, that's my rider, my selector. Yes, sir.
What I got now won't be here again. Let the sunshine shine right in. Everywhere we go, they let us in. Smoking hair and it smell like mint. Timberland stomp, go stomp it in. Timberland stomp, go stomp it in. Stomp it in, stomp it in. Hey, stop, 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 stop. Change it up, I'ma take it too far. Some go home and some go hard. Velvet sky, I'm a velvet star. Pull up in a black painted car. Hey, velvet sky, I'm a velvet star. Pull up in a black painted car.
Eggs out the line, paradise. It calls on me. The fall, the rising. Yeah, rose gold rain. Nothing's left in the waste. It's been real. It's been too real. Eggs out the line, paradise. It calls on me. Take the leap, biggest deep. 22 stars on me, blue horizon. Playing mind games. It's been real. It's been too real. It's been too real.
What I got now won't be here again. Let the sunshine shine right in. Everywhere we go, they let us in. Smoking hair and it smell like mint. Timberland stomp, go stomp it in. Timberland stomp, go stomp it in. Stomp it in, stomp it in. Hey, stop, 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 stop. Change it up, I'ma take it too far. Some go home and some go hard. Velvet sky, I'm a velvet star. Pull up in a black painted car. Yeah. Velvet sky, I'm a velvet star. Pull up in a black painted car. Baby, you're my favorite game. Violence, fire, love and flames. None of us will ever be the same. Look in the mirror, I won't take the blame. I just wanna sit in a sacred place. Watch goldfish and silver rain. Watching stars and get drunk all day. Get drunk all day, get drunk all day. Hey.
Eggs out the line, paradise. It calls on me. The fall, the rising. Yeah, rose gold rain. Nothing's left in the waste. It's been real. It's been too real. Eggs out the line, paradise. It calls on me. The fall, the rising. Yeah, rose gold rain. Nothing's left in the waste. It's been real. It's been too real. It's been too real. It's been too real.
On the back, don't pour you a cup of cognac, yeah. Always acting funny with your funny ass. What you wanna eat with your hungry ass? See a book smart, you be acting boss. Come and shake it on me to the reggaeton. Yeah, like that, I'm on the ringtone. You can have a bag, I dish, turn thing down. You're my drug, my vice there. Anything you needed, I swipe there. You tripping on me, so I swipe it. Every time it came down, we were fighting. Baby, you're bad for my health. You're bad for my wealth. You're bad for yourself. You should be with someone else. You shouldn't like me. You don't even love yourself. I didn't mean to put you under my spell. Sorry, baby, you're bad for my health. Girl, you bad for me, like cigarette. Girl, you bad for me, bad intention. Bad for me to bad, bad for me like the ghetto. Pull string with your pedal. I got chips for the cash. I don't like to talk, I sing songs. And why you always calling me pissed off? You trying to see my heart with an arrow. Sorry, yeah, life's not fair though. Baby, you're bad for my health. You're bad for my wealth. You're bad for yourself. You should be with someone else. You shouldn't like me. You don't even love yourself. I didn't mean to put you under my spell. Sorry, baby, you're bad for my health. Hey, if you can find a good girl, point around. Girl, you're bad for me like a lot of doubt. She ain't good for me, bro, like her out. Yeah, you want a VIP, and that going bow bow. I'ma get the cat meow meow. With no money can make it too cool, bitch, jump around. Baby, you're bad for my health. You're bad for my wealth. You're bad for yourself. You should be with someone else. You shouldn't like me. You don't even love yourself. I didn't mean to put you under my spell. Sorry, baby, you're bad for my health. I didn't mean to fear. I didn't mean to fear. I didn't mean to fear. Should be with someone. I didn't mean to fear. I didn't mean to fear. I didn't mean to fear. Should be with someone else.
Welcome back to another episode of the Weekly Review. I am Dylan Carlson alongside my good friend Josh Hoffman. And yeah, man, wow. We've been kind of saying this. It feels good to be back, but we took last week off. Both of us were really busy, had shit going on. And if I'm being honest, man, doing 14 weeks in a row, you get really burnt out. And I feel like this episode in particular, being that it's a staff favorites episode, I really wanted us to be kind of at 100% going into this week so we can really enjoy this content. But here we are.
Yeah, no, we're back. Much better spirits.
Yeah.
At least in my work area. There was a lot of garbage going on last week, and it was just bad time all around. But we're in a much better spot, and really, honestly, excited to be back. And the staff favorites, kind of a little bit of a different angle. But this is more of a just enjoy everything, right? Like, not like we don't enjoy what we do, but kind of just taking that, because we've critiqued these and did all this. It's just going back through, kind of cherry picking what we really enjoyed, and I think it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I know we kind of introduced a couple of different like show styles or episode kind of orientations throughout this season, and I thought that was actually kind of fun to break it up, because our first season we were strictly like, we're reviewing content, we're giving feedback every single episode, and now we've done deep dives on one singular project with the Behind the Lens series, and then we've also done rewinds where we go back on a single user's pieces of content that they've done, or a single creator's pieces of work, and look at their discography and whatnot. And now we're doing kind of this like less feedback from a standpoint of what you would see on a regular episode, and more of like, hey, let's kick back, and we're going to take a look at some of the edits that we've seen across the first 2 seasons of the show, and just kind of reminisce a little bit and be like, oh yeah, I remember that was a really cool one. So I think this is great. This is more of an appreciation show and less of a guys are going to watch this and gain some valuable feedback. I guess I wouldn't say less of that. I think this will be more pointing out the things that people did good, and less pointing out the things that they did wrong.
Right. Yeah. The more, I don't know. Yeah, I think you just said it perfectly. Instead of more of a critical eye, just be like, almost like more of a viewer standpoint, more of a laid back review of like, oh, hey, that was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and honestly, like, man, like we were in dire need of that. I think this season has been particularly weird as far as submissions goes, and we've had a steady flow of people that have been submitting. Guys like Pax, Seawalk, even MXer has been submitting. Not, I wouldn't say on a regular basis, but enough to get stuff put in front of our audience. But man, it really felt like we got a wider swath of content creators in our first season, and now it seems like there's less and less people that are actually creating content, and it kind of sucks, man. Like, it's already a pretty niche community as is, but we want to even further drill down into the editing side, and I felt like we were gaining a lot of traction, so people were starting to get into editing more. Maybe I'm just full of shit and have a giant ego about it, but I really thought that we had a bigger pool of content creators to pick from last season over this one. So I don't know if it's just this game in the state that it's in that people are having a difficult time either playing it, or if they're in this weird like limbo state where they don't want to create content anymore. So I don't know, but I will say that I am glad to see that some of the top level guys are still doing it, still creating really cool stuff for this game, because I mean, without that, this show is kind of pointless.
All but nothing, right? Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, we're just kind of, we're in limbo here. I know we are wrapping up this season here in a couple of weeks. With this being our last, not last week, but the week before that was our last like actual submission week for people to get their content reviewed and feedback submitted. But
Right. Yep.
no, I think this is a great way for us to just kind of showcase some of the talent that's out there, and not, I want to say like, this is difficult, right? Because, you know, we've had guys like Pax, Pelster, Shady, Murray, like a ton of high level creators that have been on this show before, and they have submitted for feedback on this show. But I don't want tonight's episode to feel like, oh, we're picking like favorites because of these guys that have been on the show. I will say a lot of their content is in tonight's episode, but with that being said, like, the reason why these edits were selected is because we liked them, we enjoyed them a lot, and they just so happen to be from top level creators. So,
well, yeah, it's exactly that. It's the content, not the creator itself. It's not a popularity contest. It's just simply we liked what they created. Yeah.
Yeah. Which brings me to my next point that I wanted to talk about. You and I had this discussion a couple of weeks ago. We're going to do an edit contest. And I know I reached out to the guys at Valor to try to get, not that I need permission from them, but they used to do a edit contest called Documoto, and it was the biggest edit contest for MX bikes, like bar none. They did a ton of work for it. Since then, they've gotten really busy. Since Documoto 23, which kind of spooled up this whole show and like getting content in front of other viewers and us, and being able to provide feedback. But we do plan on doing an edit contest sometime, probably closer towards September, just with summertime schedules and whatnot. I know people are going to be super busy, so stay tuned for more details on that. I think it's gonna be really fun. We're gonna do some cash prizes. We're gonna get some judges in here from, you know, a wide swath of creators, yeah, I'm really hopeful. We're gonna see how this contest goes. So, because I know like they are kind of hit or miss, and it's super subjective, and people's feelings get hurt and whatnot. So I don't want that. Yeah. I don't. Yeah, dude, we already dealt with that shit with Documoto, and I feel bad because like. I've talked to Pelster about this because he was on the panel for the last one, and he was saying something along the lines of like, dude, I don't know why or how, but it just got misconstrued that, you know, we're picking favorites and blah blah blah, and there's a lot of politics in it. And I'm like, well, I just don't need that negativity for this channel, realistically. So with that being said, like, dude, we're gonna throw some cash in it because, like, as a content creator, you know, it's difficult to like benefit monetarily from your work, unless, you know, you're a super high level creator and you're doing commission work. So, for me, it's one of those ways for us to even give back even further beyond the realm of just feedback. This is a way for us to like reward the high quality creators in this space. So stay tuned for that. I think, the fuck did I call it? Was it replay or some dumb shit like that? I always come up with like one word fucking titles. I'm like, oh yeah, this is super catchy. But yeah, so stay tuned. We'll have more details coming out about that in the next couple of weeks. So yeah. Other than that, man, dude, can we talk about Southwick a little bit?
Yeah, we can. What do you think?
Okay, so first of all, like, look the fuck out, Jet Lawrence. Look the fuck out.
Okay. Yeah.
Look the fuck out. You to fucking make faces at that kid? Guess what?
Okay.
That
I
kid's
was
gonna
wondering what side of the fence you're on.
that kid's gonna steal your fucking girlfriend, bro. He's got a fucking private jet. I'm just saying, dude. Like, all right. So here's my thing. Hayden's really fucking good in the 250 class, and Roxon and Jet and all these guys are, saying like, oh, it's going to be tough, dude. It's going to be really tough when you get to the 450 class. And it usually is. But let us not forget that everybody said that about Jet, that it was going to be harder for him when he went to the 450 class. And then he went undefeated his rookie season on a 450. So, albeit his Supercross season after that, he won that too. And this year has been a little difficult for him. And last year outdoors was a little difficult for him. So I will give Hayden some grace. But, man, if you want to piss off a kid that would rather die than lose, like, man, I don't know. Anyways, dude, Hayden looks fucking great, dude. Like, I just, he's fitter, both physically and mentally, than anybody else on the track. Like, you can just see it, clear as day. But I was a little disappointed to see Eli not show up in typical Eli fashion at Southwick.
Yeah, I'd have to agree too, because Southwick is, that's almost his, second
Right.
home track, right? He just obliterates that thing years past.
Yeah.
I didn't actually watch the full race, so I don't know if there's anything going on, or I didn't watch any race day live or any behind the scenes, so I don't know if he's like there was talk about any illness or anything, or if he was just had an off day, right?
Right.
Us 30-year-olds have a lot more off days than not. So.
Right. Yeah. I don't know, man. It just like it was weird. I think the GP boys are just really creative in the sand, and when you can't get away with just bulldogging that track anymore when you've got a guy that's as fluid as Jet is. Like,
well, because he dances around it and glides on top of it, and just like you said, bulldogging, just plowing through everything. Just think of all the energy Eli uses. I mean, and that's what goes into beast mode, right? He's just such a strong person. But when you're fighting somebody that's just not breaking a sweat,
right,
it's still going a little faster. That's hard to race, right?
Yeah, and at least Eli took it in stride, and he said, they were just better. And I feel like he's been saying that all season long, and it's really tough to watch because, man, I don't know. I know you and I are both Eli fans. I have had nothing but respect for him. As soon as he got, as soon as his pro debut happened, I was like, holy shit, this kid is the fucking real deal. Kid, he's 2 years older than me. Like, he's he's legit. And the way that he rides a bike is unlike anybody else. You could say like, oh, he revs a bike like Barsha, but he's a gear higher than Barsha, just winding that thing out. So, man, I don't know. We'll see what happens at Redbud. Jet has kicked his ass at Redbud before. I think he does really well at Millville too. And I would love nothing more than Eli to finally break the undefeated overall streak of Jet at Spring Creek.
I think he has an overall in him.
I think he does.
Just because I'm a diehard, I would have said he would have had multiple. But I might let that one go. But I think there's one in there. You know what I mean? And that's huge because I was talking to somebody about it, that Eli is at kind of the upper end of age for racers, and obviously Jet and Hayden are on the lower end. It's really interesting to see that the ends of the spectrum are still leading everybody else. It's super cool to see him up there and battling and holding down for the old guard.
Right. And he's kind of the only one that's doing that. Like, there really isn't anybody else in the picture from that time period of like, I don't know, I would say like your Ken Roxons, your Jason Andersons, like guys that have been around the block for a while.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing it there. Like they're just not as well. Kenny's just straight up and down not racing outdoors, so like hard to argue there. But like even Cooper Webb, dude, I know he's got that thumb injury or wrist injury or whatever the fuck he's got going on, but that he's never, well, I shouldn't say that he's never been really good outdoors. He hasn't been really good outdoors on a 450 historically.
450, yeah.
250s he dominated.
Yeah, he was great on the 250s, yep.
Yeah, man, it seems like the only guy that's carrying the torch and like still putting up a fight is Eli, and everybody else is, you know, that younger generation. You've got guys like J Coop. AP's weird because he's kind of in the middle. I forget how young he actually is in comparison to a lot of these other guys, because he's only like, I think he's like 25. Yeah,
that could be.
Yeah, he's not like that much older than Jet. But dude, he's still got a lot of longevity, and also like KTM's just gonna keep signing that guy because he's only gotten better. He's one of the biggest personalities in the sport.
He's the people's champ. Yeah, absolutely.
Like
everybody likes him. There's nobody that doesn't like him.
Yeah, he's the most likable guy on track, off track. It doesn't matter. Anybody that would say like, oh, I hate Aaron Plessinger is like, first of all, okay, go be weird somewhere else, man. There's not a single person that could say that about him. And he has shown so much brilliance this year. Like he's the only person to straight up and down pass Jet, which is insane. In 2025, I'm saying Aaron Plessinger is the only person to straight up and down pass Jet Lawrence is crazy. But yeah, I don't know. Like you're gonna keep signing him. I think. Well, first of all, like Chase coming back at Redbud because he's a sourpuss about KTM, which I don't know. That's a rumor mill. That's everything else. But I'm not entirely sure what's going on there. But I think him going to Cowie is a big mistake.
100%.
I think he is not going to like that bike. He's not going to gel with it very much. Cowie historically has not been super good about letting people do what they want with the bike. And I think Chase and his dad have a real hard time setting up any motorcycle. So they're going to rely heavily on Brock Tickle to do all of their testing and get that in the right spot, and possibly Jorge to do some of that for them. But just look at Jorge, man. Like, albeit first year on that bike in America.
Yeah, but can you really say that? I mean, racers are different, obviously, but you know, when Hurlings came over and just wiped everybody, right?
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah. Like Jeffrey Hurlings is kind of an anomaly in my opinion, but I don't see it. Maybe in Supercross when you don't need all of that power, it will be different.
Yeah, sure.
I can't remember who I was talking to. I think it was yesterday or maybe Sunday. I was talking to somebody about that, and they were like, well, Jorge's saying that the Cowie doesn't have enough power in stock trim. And I'm like, yeah, so is every single tester on the planet. You go look at any 450 shootout. They say that Kawasaki feels slow or underpowered for a 450. But now they're like, well, you don't think like a factory team couldn't put together an engine package? I'm like, yeah, they can. But so is every other factory team that can beat that bike out of the box. So I don't know. I don't see it being super good for him. I think Eli going to Red Bull KTM is sad.
It's like the grossest thing I've ever thought of. Yeah, and I don't know why there's such a stigma around KTM. I personally think it comes from the Dungey era in my opinion, in my case. But I don't know. That's just such a strange thought to have.
Yeah, for me, it's, God, when he was on Monster Kawasaki and just dominated outdoors. Like, what was it? 3 back-to-back boats or something like
Back
that?
to back to back. Yep.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, I bought a Kawasaki because of Eli Tomac. Like that, the whole point of them racing dirt bikes and getting paid is to
Yeah.
sell bikes. I bought
And
one.
you fell into it. Yep. Yeah.
100%, dude. They were a great package. And then he goes to Yamaha, and he almost immediately is better at soupy and outdoors. He was the same Eli Tomac. But now it's always been under the Monster tent. He's kind of, been this guy where it's, hey, we've got a really good program going. Don't fucking change it. And now he's going to a team where historically we've seen them tell their riders what they're going to ride, and it's the GP specs that they get from Europe or whatever. They don't really let them do their own program, save for, is Chase at Moto Sandbox or is he at Alden's? I think they're all down at the Bakers.
I think he's at Alden's.
So, like, it's going to be a huge culture shift for Eli.
Do you think that the KTM's going to make him move to Alden or whatever? Because, his shtick is, being in Colorado.
Yeah, so here's my thing about it is, like, dude, everybody goes to Alden's. Everybody.
Yeah.
That's, like, their deal. And you don't deviate from that. I guess not true. Jason Anderson left to do his own thing when he was still at Husky, and he was really successful.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, did he? Okay.
And then, like, he started doing poorly, and they reeled him back in. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's any way Eli would sign a contract where he goes to Eldon Bakers and completely uproots his entire programming that he's had.
There's no way. Right, because
10
he's
years.
Established. Yeah.
Right.
And how can a team go to somebody, a Titan, right?
Mm-hmm.
And say, you need to do this? I don't know. I don't see that.
The thing is obviously there was contracts on the table for multiple different teams. And I could see him going, not really wanting to go to Ducati or Triumph because it's not a proven platform.
There's just nothing there. Yeah, there's no solid, right. The bike could grenade on the line. You know what I mean?
Right. Now, I will say this. If Eli was on a Desmo 450, albeit one of the ugliest dirt bikes I've ever seen, it'd sound fucking insane.
Could you imagine, dude? It's like a rotary fucking engine, man. I don't know,
dude. Like, God, that thing, it would whistle like it has a turbo.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I don't really understand the move except for the fact that Triumph doesn't have a solid bike proven yet, and Ducati's same as Ducati. So. And Eli Tomac would sooner retire than go privateer. Like he doesn't have to do this. He wants to do it, and
he wants to. Yeah.
KTM was the only platform that was going to give him a ride, which it sucks that Yamaha corporate is going that route, but you can't fire Justin Cooper because he's
good. And he's developing.
He's developing. This is his first full year in the 450 class. Hayden's on his way there, so there's no way you're getting rid of the biggest name in the sport right now. Like, you're just not doing it. There's way too much money on the line for bike sales and everything else that comes with the Degans to get rid of him. He's also won you 1, 2, 3, 4, probably 5 titles in 3 years. So, save for a Supercross title his rookie year. And last year he didn't win it. Was that his rookie year? No.
No.
No. So his rookie year was, yeah. So he's missed out on 2 titles. He's won every single SMX title. He's won, well, not yet, but he is going to probably wrap up
On his way. Yep.
Yeah, like he will wrap up this 250 outdoor title back to back again. Probably go win you a 3rd SMX title. So there's no real reason to get rid of him, and you can't fire the reigning Supercross champion. So
yeah,
I get it. There's just not a lot of money there, and Eli demands a lot of money. So I don't know. Anyways, well, nobody's watching, so who gives a shit? Let's let's get into the show.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Since we sat here and rattled on about dirt bikes for quite some time. So this first one comes from Mayhew. I remember this name a little bit, but I don't remember it a ton. So let's have a look. Let's see what we liked about this one.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, this one was solid. I think this was very Murray-esque is what I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is kind of what you would expect from a Murray style edit, and I think Mayhew delivered on this. This was really solid, great camera work, great depth of field, bike sounds, everything. He's got some cool like light leak transitions. Yeah, no complaints here. This was definitely a staff favorite for sure.
Yeah, what really stood out, which was I think really intentional, was the intro was black and white. We're building that with the B-roll and stuff, and the first big hit with the music brought the color in and really just set the vibe for everything. Now it was good pacing. All the shots are really cool. I really like this shot. Just it was a really good outro shot. Because we're kind of wrapping things up, but. Yeah, the vibe was good, and it was under a minute, and I typically don't like that, but I was vibing with it.
Right. Yeah.
And bike sounds.
And bike sounds. For me, a lot of it was simply the camera work. It's just really buttery smooth. And I feel like we notice that a lot with newer editors is they're just not, they're so focused on keeping the rider in the center of the frame or the subject in the center of like the shot. And Mayhew does a great job of letting that rider naturally flow in and out of the frame. And it looked really nice. It was really clean. There was like, for all intents and purposes, this depth of field is spot on everywhere. It never is like breaking. He doesn't have some weird autofocus issues. It just looks clean the entire time, which is really fucking difficult, man. I feel like a lot of guys, when they first start editing, or they're so, I don't know if they're blind to it or what happens when they're filming. So they'll set their depth of field for like the B-roll shots when it's super slow-mo and you're up close and there's not a lot of camera movement, and they'll get that really nice clean image with the depth of field set perfectly, and then they'll go to the actual like riding footage and it's just completely gone, and it kind of, for me, ruins it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, not here. He absolutely nailed it on this one. This was, I guess the one thing that I would say is, and this is not a dig on this at all. There is a lot of slow-mo, but again, that's moto edits. You know, something that's short form, we're probably going to expect to see a pretty heavy amount of slow-mo, but it didn't feel like it was overdone. Like you said, the pacing was really good throughout this, and he wants to highlight the whips and everything that else is going on with this, so it just makes sense. So, I don't know. I really enjoyed this one. This was a really solid piece, and I can already see that I liked it. So I obviously liked it when we first saw this. So yeah, really good job, man. This was an awesome piece of content. So
yeah, excellent.
Anything else that you had about that one?
No, just good job.
All right, there we go. All right. Flash warning. Oh, Pax is in here. Let me turn my autoplay off so we don't run into this issue.
Just for the record, Pax, I tried to pick one and he said no.
No, because that's not a staff favorite. That was if I could do anything else, I would. I'd sooner slam my cock in a fucking desk drawer than be blinded. No, we're not doing that. Anyways, this is Gosha by Cheeto, which this is one of your picks, Josh. So,
yes,
this should be. I did like it. So this got a like.
Yep.
So here we go.
Hey, nigga, I know you care about
Gosha.
Like, can you tell me what you don't give a fuck about, nigga? Like, what don't you give a fuck about, nigga?
I don't give a fuck about shit. Aye. Nice chain, red bone mains, chain swing like pretty things. Kick a bitch, call me Luke Kane. Young bitch, give me dumb brain, y'all. Wrist wet like rain. Nike swoosh, white cocaine. Iceberg, that's Gucci Mane. Tall racks like Yao Ming. For school.
That's why I like this.
Always keep a tool. You a pussy nigga, you a fucking fool.
Wait, hold up. Aye.
Bitches look at me like I am a jewel. I be pussy with your bitch in the pool. Blast off, wait, jet fuel. For this world, man, these bitches so cruel.
All right. Yes, I remember why this got okay. Yeah, dude, this was so sweet. Okay. Yeah. And here's the reason why I personally like this one is strictly from a camera work side. It was really creative. I remember the first time seeing that GoPro style where it was like the chest cam.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. It's really difficult with like how the arms and shit work in this game and how they show up with like field of view and whatnot. But I remember seeing that for the first time and be like, yes, that's so sick. It's so cool. Super unique. If I had to pick one thing that I didn't really enjoy about this, it was the lack of depth of field, in my opinion. But
sure,
he made up for it with the camera work and the interesting shots. So I really enjoyed this. I will concede a little bit on the fact that he doesn't have the complete package with depth of field being one of those things. But
he made up for it, right?
But he
made another absec. Yeah.
Yes, 100%. Dude, this was so sick. Yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts, man?
Well, I picked this one just because I remember, specifically that shot. We were both like, wow, that's a really cool utilization of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't really typically see that. and just the vibe. The first bass hit with with this big whip here.
Mhm.
I loved the vibe, and it wasn't like, yes, he had his B-roll, but it wasn't like a typical edit, right, where you have your B-roll, then you do your writing. He sprinkled it in these little places and still matched it up to the music, and just how clean and how almost intentional, I guess would be a good word, is how I felt. Everything that we were watching was very deliberate, and it just felt really clean. And it was just a really cool edit. I really liked it.
100%. And, we've seen awesome edits come out of Pelster's Playground. No Namers comes to mind. I see, obviously, crushed that project. But this, in my opinion, was, God, he had, like I said, he's got, the camera work skills are really unique in this. I really wish we could have seen more out of Cheeto. I wonder if he has any new shit out. So I haven't seen anything from him 11 months ago. So yeah, he basically quit after that, which I don't know, people get busy, is what it is. Maybe he stopped playing bikes, but man, there are some really cool shots in this, and he did a great job doing it. So super unique camera work. I really wish he would have polished his craft a little bit more with, submitting feedback to this show or submitting content for this show. But
sure. Yeah.
For me, damn, this was really cool. The speed ramps, everything that he had going on looked really, really sweet. So I don't know. Yeah, I really enjoyed this one. This one was a fun one to watch. Glad that this got picked. Hell yeah. All right, moving on. We're kind of doing a speed run because we don't have a ton of feedback for all of these. So you might be on track to actually be under an hour and a half this week, buddy.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. 3 hours later. Shit. Yeah. All right, here we go. Pelster, metric. Hell yeah. Love me a good Pelster edit.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, what can I say, man? Everybody in Valor Camp, they know how to ride, and they know how to write and make it look really good. So, Well, touching on that, one of my biggest points is they know how to ride, so they know how to get incredible footage, right? And they know how to mitigate the wonkiness of bikes and make it look really cool and really, I'm not going to say realistic, right? But they make it look as natural as this game can be, and it's a lot easier to watch because you don't have the little wonky bike stuff going on,
Right.
and yeah, just so clean, so smooth, and like I said, what can I say? This is just good. I love the vibe, the upbeat music, and probably I'm so used to these tracks being edits, and that's for a reason, right? It's so good to look at in the background as well, not just the writing. So yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah. No, I mean, you kind of nailed it there, Josh. Like the Valor guys know how to make this game look really, really solid. Obviously, Pelster's reshade is dialed in perfectly. He's got awesome depth of field that has a lot of variance in it throughout this project. So if I had to pick one word to describe this edit, it's deliberate. Every shot looks planned out. And as much as like you say, oh, it's planned out, like, oh, it takes time, like, 10 minutes to plan a shot out, or like you're pre-planning what you want to do before you go into the edit. It's like, no, these guys aren't doing that, but they're not just sitting there doing like a free roam cam, always in constant drone motion, following the rider around. The shots that they're setting up, first of all, they've obviously spent time making edits, so they know what they're doing. So you can kind of plan your shots as you're progressing through the edit. So everything that you see here is deliberately planned out to, like, okay, this guy is going to the right, so the camera is going to go to the left and it's going to pan this direction, or it's going to do this. So you're, as an editor and a filmer, you're thinking about these things, and it can look really, really pretty and well put together. And the other nice thing is it reduces the amount of time that it takes you to edit, because
to actually do it. Yeah.
Right. There's going to be difficult shots for sure. There's one shot, I think, where is it? Is it right away? No, it's, gosh, I can't remember where it was. It might be here. Can't remember exactly where it was, but it's like, you see this, it's a ton of drone motion, and like I can just tell, like, those, even that shot alone, like, it doesn't look like it's that difficult, but you have to match the pace of the rider while keeping them in frame. So it can be really difficult to set those shots up, and it takes a lot of time to get it perfect, where there's no camera jitteriness. It all looks nice and butterly smooth. Like this shot, for instance, like there's a lot going on in that shot. So it takes time, and it takes a lot of practice to get your camera work to look this good. So it just goes to show, the guys that are doing this at a really high level, I mean, that's it. This is what this shot right here, this one, that there's so much camera work that goes into that. And I bet it took him probably 15 to 20 tries to get that to be as smooth and as perfectly timed as it was. So, but a lot of these shots that you see, a majority of the editors utilizing, these guys at the highest level, they can do that in one take, and it'll look just as good as if they were going to, take 20 tries at it. So, no, I think Pelster just absolutely crushed this one. It gave me, like Verb Platinum vibes a little bit.
Yeah, I'd agree. Mm-hmm.
Like just the music selection, everything, it was very much kind of like that nice package in like an old school format, as much as it pains me to say that Verb Platinum is old school. I wish they'd bring it back.
School. Right, dude, seriously, yeah. That was so good. And it really kind of was a pivotal thing for me to like just love the sport even more, right? I don't know.
Yeah. I just like everybody goes back to when you talk about motocross edits in general, dude. If you had to pick one off the top of your head, and it's Barsh's Verb Platinum,
It's hands down. That's like instant.
every day. Like I don't care. It's either that or Eli's Dirt Shark 2-stroke. Video.
Yeah, dude. Oh my god.
So sick. So cool. Like Dirt Shark is doing great things in the editing space now. But when you talk about dirt bike edits, dude, it is Barsha's Verb Platinum every single time. And it's there's no contest there. It's so good. It's so iconic. Everything that is it's just a really well put together piece of content. So, yeah, it just makes sense. And this gives me a lot of that same kind of vibe from it. You know, you get mixes of black and white, a lot of camera motion, a lot of different variety in shots that are, it's very pleasing to look at. It doesn't get stale. It doesn't get boring. It's, yeah, we're seeing a bunch of the same, what would be like clips or pieces of riding, but it's shot from a different angle. And even though we get to see it again, it's not the end of the world. I'm still very pleased that I'd seen that extra little bit. So,
well, it's different enough too.
Right,
you know,
right.
It's not like, oh, that's the same when you're
Right.
watching it. You know,
Right. And that just takes skill, man. So I think Pelster did a really good job of being able to like, it's almost enhancing the clip when you go from a full speed clip of, you know, a whip or whatever it might be, a big line, something along that. It really enhances that when you show it again, even in like a tighter angle or a tighter frame, and slow it down. Like it adds another level of depth to it. And I don't know. It's weird because I feel like a lot of the newer editors do that way too much or way too often. So for me, I'm hit or miss on it. So
sure.
I like everything, dude. If it's done well, it looks great. If it's done poorly or overdone, then it starts to detract from it. So
It's such a fine line with everything and making content and stuff. Yeah,
100%.
there's a sweet spot with everything, and he nailed it.
100%. Yeah, good job, Pelster. Awesome. All right, I don't know how to say.
I have no idea. Can you just like smash it all together?
It's GHB.
There we go. Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
Dude, you know what it sounds like? It sounds like when you're unplugging a fucking 1/4 inch guitar amp plug from the amp. You're getting a little bit of feedback, dude. That's what that sounds like. Okay, so
I fucking love that.
we've obviously seen this, but I did not like it. So this will be the first one that I did not give a like to the first go around. So let's see what this looks like.
Free riding has no boundaries. It's a lifestyle of expression, and the world is a blank canvas.
You sure about that one, Josh?
So, okay, can I explain myself?
Sure.
So this just hits. This is straight nostalgia, and this is probably looking through maybe rose-colored glasses or whatever. I like the tricks here of of all of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Driving up to the moto compound. I love this little intro scene, and then we just get in straight into like old school motocross, right? Like Crusty Demons.
Mm-hmm.
The whole vibe and everything was super sick, and it really was. It was enjoying to watch. It was like kind of seeing just Krusty just in NMX bikes, and I really liked it. Now going back to camera work and our rubric on things probably didn't get all of the marks, but this
All
was
of
just
them?
a fun one, and and hey, this was really cool. And you know what? It's my pick, and I stand by it.
All right. Well, I'm saying you're just, you're 1 for 2 right now. You're batting 50%.
Oh, well, hey, I think he deserved a little second chance, and maybe he's not going to get a like from Dylan, but that's all right.
No. No. In all seriousness, I can understand where you're coming from a vibe standpoint. I think
Yeah, that's exactly what drove all this. Yes.
yeah. Like I would say you're on the money when you say it's like Crusty Demons, because that very much felt like Crusty Demons to me. The free ride aspect, I would say that the camera work is needs
Yeah, especially this one right here, right?
needs a lot of work. The pacing, everything that goes into an edit is just kind of missed the mark there, unfortunately for me. I'm not going to rag on him too much because this is not the point of the show tonight. So, what I will say, I did like the fact that it was creative with this overlay, and we got some driving and whatnot. Like this is very reminiscent of Crusty Demons. So I 100% understand where you're coming from there. So vibe, 100%. Yeah. Nailed the vibe for sure. Missed the mark on some camera work and reshade stuff. So it's not going to get a like from me this time around, but no, I would like to see more of a refined edit or a refined version of this, because I think it can be really cool. I feel like a lot of the guys, especially over in the Valor camp and the No Namers camp, dude, they crush the free ride stuff, man. Like that is our Crusty Demons.
Yeah.
They do such a cool job with all of that shit. I feel like, dude, it's almost like Sword was that guy for them, because he had that heavy metal influence, the real dark vibe. And
oh, dude, I loved his stuff, man.
Yeah, that's a real bummer, man, that he left the space. I don't know why. I was so happy that we got him on the show before he ended up just taking a break from all this. So
for sure. Yeah.
I don't know if he's out there, or if ever he watches this again. We miss you, man. We wish you would come back and make some content, because you had some really sweet shit when you were doing all that stuff. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like I said, it's not the purpose of tonight's show is not to be like critical through the lens of giving constructive criticism here. This is just more so we wanted to showcase some stuff that we really liked. And again, I had not seen this since the last time it appeared on the show, so I'm not entirely sure what I had to say about it the first time. I think I would have loved to see a more polished version of this to really capture the whole Crusty Demons vibe for me, but I 100% get where you're coming from on that.
Yeah, and like I said, and not like again, trying to tread lightly here, not trying to shit on him, but yeah, there is some glaringly obvious camera work, little kind of weird jitteriness and stuff like that, but that wasn't the point in my decision. It was just purely nostalgic, and it wasn't really a lot of. It's not a common thing to do in this space, and he took a swing at it, and I appreciated it, and I thought he deserved another look at it. So,
well, let that be known. All right, moving on. Okay, so this one is a little bit longer. This one I also didn't like my first time around that it was submitted. And I'm not entirely sure why I didn't like it. But I have a sneaking suspicion, like anything that comes out of the norms camp is usually pretty good. Like that's where Joeman is at. That's where Seawalk was at. Pax spent some time there for a little bit, but he never really did any of that. Like under the norms umbrella, he was just like a part of that little collective for a little bit. And then who else? Larson was there. So like there's some really high level content creators that were over at Norms for a while. So I don't know. I don't know why I didn't like this. I'm usually pretty good about like if I see a piece of content that I actually like, I'll at least throw them a like. So let's take a look. 6 minutes. Norms joins FXR.
Love for the game. Love for creating. And love for the sport of motocross. That's what this is all about. When this started as a group of friends, we never imagined where it would go, but we knew exactly where we wanted to be.
I don't know if I'd go that far, but okay. Don't believe everything you see in the news. Jesus Christ.
What an intro.
convenient that they don't show the landing.
He's dead.
Yeah, 100% dead. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. That was
Hell
really,
yeah.
That was really
No,
good.
The creativity is unreal in that.
Yeah, no, dude, super fun. For 6 minutes, I mean, normally, dude, people fucking turn that shit off. And albeit, like, we're different than the average viewer. We're gonna watch it all the way through. But
I never felt like this is stale or
no,
I'm losing interest or anything, because we've had that before. We've had that with minute-long edits, right?
Right. No, you're
So
100% correct. So
this was great. Yeah.
yeah, no, and I remember seeing this for the first time, and I don't know why I didn't like it. God, it was such a cool piece, and for being 6 minutes long, like the pacing was spot on. I love the narration in the beginning, the title cards, the newspaper, all of this. Like, this is super fun to see.
We'll talk about a story, right? They're really
Right.
adding lore to this team
Mhm.
and making you like they're making the viewer relate to these people they're about to showcase. It was incredible.
Yeah, no, he did an awesome job. Like, this was a really cool piece of content, and unfortunately, like, we really don't see a whole lot of this around. Maybe it's just because there's not. All right, so I'll say this: there's people that have put out really big pieces of work that have turned out amazing because they're done at a very high level. Then there's this group of people that thinks if I put black bars on my content, it's now a cinematic. And it's fucking not.
Yeah.
It's just not. And let me tell you why. Because it's not good enough. Like, I hate to say it, but it's just, you have to be so dialed in with everything. What's the analogy? The ice cream cone. Like, not only do you have to have the best soft serve ice cream cone that you can possibly build, but you have to have the sprinkles. You have to have the chocolate sauce or the fudge dip, whatever the fuck we want to go with. To do something that is considered a cinematic, you better make sure that you are dialed the fuck in. Because if you throw black bars on garbage, and say this is a cinematic. It's not. It's just not. And what it does is it waters down the amount of time and effort that content creators that are making shit like this, it tarnishes the actual name of an MX Bikes cinematic. Like when you talk about no-namers and guys like Seabix that have done this, where it is a fucking cinematic. It is telling a story. It's not just riding footage. That's why I love using black bars on my shit, because I love Cinescope, but it's not a cinematic. Year one is a cinematic. That tells a story. And I don't know. I'm getting ranty and I'm getting upset because I've seen people do shit like this.
It's because you have emotion in this, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Like I have a lot of passion, and like when you title something cinematic, dude, it should tell a story, and Coxie nailed it. So definitely deserving of the like. This was really good. I must have been in a bad mood when I watched this the first time, because this was super well put together, and I'm glad that I selected it for another watch through, because this deserves another watch through. Hey Josh, you know I can read chat, right?
Oh, shit.
You know I can physically see. I'm glad that this.
It was just a question.
I hate you. I hate you so much. It just popped up. It's like, short of making a sound. Oh God. Oh, I'm glad that we're done with submissions for the rest of this season. But I know as soon as we announce season 3, Pax is gonna be
backlog, dude.
He's gonna be sitting there. He's gonna be fucking just rubbing his hands together, like the fucking, what's the meme where the guy's like poking around the trees? Like, you got any flashing black bars? Oh fuck. But no. Dude, like, nailed it. This was a really cool piece of content. I'm glad that he got some really awesome content creators that have been featured on this show to get involved, to film and do all of this stuff. It was really well done. And there's nothing that I can really say as far as the feedback standpoint is concerned. I loved the title cards. I loved the sound effects.
Me too, yeah.
It really encapsulates, like, they wanted to tell a story, because this was a big deal. Like FXR Game Time getting involved with bikes was, I won't say groundbreaking, because we've seen real brands come into the fold. God, what was, like, 7 was a big one with MX vs ATV.
Yep.
Like we've seen real gear brands in video games before. So, it's not unheard of, but it was a really big deal for, let's say, like the sim side of stuff. So not your commercial AAA titles as far as that's concerned, but like the actual esports side of simulation dirt bike games. Like, it was a big deal for FXR to come into the bike space, and it does deserve a story to be told about it. So this was really cool and really well put together. So, no, hats off to Coxie. This was really fun. Thank you. That was awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it kind of goes into we originally started the show. This almost is what the end product of what me and you are just looking for, right? We want really cool shit to watch with this game, and this is it. I think this is a great example, albeit it could be a little bit longer for some younger people, you know what I mean? Attention span and whatnot. Yeah. But this is it, like, just cool, really cool, high quality content.
Yeah, no, and I think this is kind of why I wanted to start this show, is to see stuff like that. No, Pax, I don't know. Give me some time. I don't know when season 3. Jesus Christ, you guys are insatiable. But like, this is the reason why we do this show, is because we want to see content creators that are just starting or have been around for a while, like, elevate their game to the point where, fuck, dude, it'd be so sweet to watch or like see an entire episode where it's just like, hey, we're just watching long form content, cinematic style, black bars, the whole fucking nine, telling a story like that. That to me is what I would love to see down the line, but we're never going to see that. And what we're going to get is we're going to get a bunch of rider features. We're going to get a bunch of Instabanger stuff, and that's okay, because those can be fucking sweet too, man. Look at guys like apparently my number one fan, Pax, is it like,
yeah,
the way that he does Instabanger content is really, really cool. And it's fun. It's interesting. He's got his own style, and there's so much that goes into it that it's like, wow, this is really neat. And then there's, guys like Joman that have grown throughout feedback throughout this show. And oh fuck, dude, like, there's probably a fistful of other people that I'm forgetting that have submitted regularly to try to get better and better and better and better. And that's the reason why I want to see just cool content. And that's the whole reason of this show. So anyways, awesome job, Coxie. Like, this was really sweet. Like, I want to see another one. I want to see more content like this. Oh,
yeah, absolutely.
All right, moving on. We got another longer one. And this one, okay, so this was another one of your selections. Technically, we kind of hemmed and hawed about this one before the beginning of the show when we were going through all of our submissions. And I feel bad because we were going to feature Joman's Oasis, which was kind of the turning point. And we talked about that on his Rewind episode that he did this season, about when we as reviewers or critics saw him break through that threshold of like, okay, this is when it really changed for you as an editor. And we elected to not air that this go around, or this time for staff picks, because it was talked about in depth already this season. And then this got brought up. And it sucks to say that Joman's piece didn't get featured, and this is because we've already seen this in a show, actually pretty recently, I would say. But I think this was a really solid pick, because this was also one of my most favorite pieces of content from Seawalk. So
yeah, it was really hard between because I think it was just so impactful. Back to Joman with his Oasis, it was almost a culmination of us, and I'm not trying to take credit for his piece of work by any means, but he chose to listen to our feedback, right? And that piece really showcased, like you said, his breakthrough, and it was just it was that much more special, I think. And I obviously I think it's just a favorite between the both of us, right? But
yeah,
we're doing the courtesy of not showing that for a third time in depth, and picking another, much deserving piece of content that we can, because we could probably talk about Oasis forever, because there's just a a very strange connection with that piece, and there forever will be, because it was just a really neat thing to be involved with, at least in my opinion.
100%.
But anyway, not to drag on about this, but that I just want to put my piece in there.
Right. And like, I think you nailed it, man. Like, we're not taking credit for that piece of content, because obviously Joman was the person that had to put it together, but it was the testament of this show actually fucking working, man. Like, getting your shit submitted for feedback is so critical, even at the highest level of content creators for this game, dude, we just having somebody else take a look at it through a different set of eyes, and maybe they notice something that is so minute and so nitpicky that maybe you take that into consideration the next time you go about creating, and it will refine your craft and make it something different. Or maybe you want to push the boundaries a little bit, and then you're like, okay, so maybe I overshot the landing a little bit too much. Like, for instance, what the fuck was it? I can't remember what the first like heavily visually modified one of PAX's. Was it Breathe or something? And the first time I saw that, I was like, wow, that's a lot. But it wasn't done poorly in the sense of like an actual piece of content. It was just a lot it was almost like physically jarring watching all of the pieces of content that he had been creating up until that point being very clean cut, like almost to a T, like pack style insta banger content. And knowing now that a lot of that was commissioned work, so he's just kind of doing, a templated piece of material, and now he's exploring his own kind of avenue where he gets excited about creating content. And that's really cool to see. Now, and I know we're all sitting here, and I sit here and bitch and complain and be like, Jesus Christ, please don't subject me to that sort of visual violence ever again each week. But it's really cool to see a high-level creator kind of take a shift and transition to something that's outside of what their norm is. And again, that is the whole purpose of this show, was to see people grow and get subjective feedback throughout the entire process. But again, we could sit here and talk for hours about what the purpose of this show is, but the purpose of tonight's show is to actually watch some really sweet content. So this is Until Next Time by Seawalk.
La mer, qu'on voit danser le long des golfes clairs, a des reflets d'argent, la mer, des reflets changeants sous la pluie.
Now, Bandland's such a good track. The environment's so good.
It's one of my favorites to ride and just be in, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man. I know, like, we already talked about this a couple episodes ago, but, like, dude, this was by far my most favorite piece that he's put out. It's so well put together.
It is. Yeah. Very, very heavy on the emotion. Well, it's probably a little bit of bias because, knowing the backstory of, why this was created and just kind of like the creation process of what he was telling us about. What I was going to say is it's kind of interesting to think, and maybe I'm just grabbing at nothing here, but I can tell when somebody's like, I'm just going to go make something cool versus somebody has a purpose of making a piece of content, right? And Seawalk here had, this was kind of his farewell for the interim. And I think it was much more intentional, much more thought, much more everything, right? Everything was kind of ramped up. Like he knew what he wanted to do. And I think he executed it really well.
Yeah, 100%. This, to me, like, what really stood out to me was the camera work aspect, man. Like, God, it was such a step up from what I've seen from him in the past. He always had a really solid reshade and whatnot when it came to filming. And he had creative camera work. Like, it wasn't bad camera work, but I know, like, he's not here to defend himself. From the time that we did review this on the show for the regular episode, I talked about snap zooms, and I felt like a lot of his work prior to this piece had a ton of what I would consider kind of that corny, cheesy camera work that we see out of a lot of inexperienced editors, and this to me did not have any of that. I know we already touched on some of the feedback points about this in that earlier episode, but man, it was like you said, dude. This kind of goes back to my point about Pelster's edit. Is if I had to describe this with one word, it's deliberate. Everything's thought out. It makes sense. It's not just slapped together like you said. Fuck, dude. It just makes sense. It tells a story without telling a story, if that makes sense. I don't know. It's just a really cool, neat piece of content, and I think he absolutely crushed it on this one. This, again, by far my favorite piece out of him. It was super, 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 super cool, and I'm glad that, we actually watched this because, per the rules, it had to be a week old, but I've known
right.
We've known Seawalk for a while, and he's been a viewer of the show, so I'm glad that we actually took time to watch this, because it kind of would have sucked to have missed out on something of this quality from him.
Oh, I agree, because it wouldn't have gotten the recognition. Probably it's not going to ever get the recognition that it deserves, but at least we can give a little bit of what it is deserving, right? And yeah, man, it's almost bittersweet too, because, well, like you said, this is your favorite piece of work by him, right? And this is his announcement that he's taking a break for a while, right? So, I mean, yeah, like I said, bittersweet is I think a pretty good word for this. I really, this has played a couple times. I really love this shot right here. Almost helicopter, like shift tilt. I don't know if that's the correct term. I think I'm using that right, like angle. Anyway, no, I you can't dislike this in my opinion.
No.
Everything's really, really good.
Yeah, no, it's just a really nice piece of content, and it's created in such a way that, I would say, like, this is starting to near that, like, really upper echelon level of content creation that we'd expect to see for something that is, what I would say is like a really good edit. This to me has all of the pieces. Now, could he add a little bit more flair to it? Sure, but I don't think it is even to the point where I would say like, oh, you need to add more for this to be good. I think he could have added a little bit more to it and spiced it up a little bit and, added those little nuanced things that kind of really stand out. That kind of put the guys that are at the very tippy top, the top 1%, I would say, that are doing this at an extremely high level. I think there's just a little bit more that needs to get there, but for all intents and purposes, dude, this is really well done. It's really well shot, and it's head and shoulders above a lot of people in the editing space, in my
That's
opinion.
what I was going to say. Yeah, I mean, sure, there's going to be the 1%, like you said, but this is that next rung down. It's still super high quality and really, really well done.
Right. Like it's not going to take much. Holy shit. I don't know if you guys could hear that, but I'm pretty sure a Cadillac just tried to rattle all the windows out of my house. Jesus Christ. But anyways, yeah, like it wouldn't take much more out of this to make it that extra step above where we start to see that highest level of content creation. So no, really, really solid piece out of him, and definitely deserved another watch. All right. So moving on to our next one. This was one of my picks, and the reason why I chose this one was this was submitted at the very beginning of the season. And I normally would have picked some of PAX's content that was further down the line. In my opinion, I really liked the Call of Duty Warzone one. I thought that was a really cool edit. However, I wanted something that, in my opinion, was a PAX edit. Like if I had to stamp it, like this to me is a PAX edit, and it's short form. It has kind of that starting to play around with a little bit of that visual effects flair. But for me, it was big on the transition work that we've all known and come to love from that high level content creation. It was just a super cool edit, and it wasn't overly flashy, no pun intended, but it was a really, just an all around a really nice piece of content, even though it was 43 seconds long. So without further ado, Kryptonite by PAX.
I remember this now. Yep.
What you need, I need you on your knees. I'm breaking, baby. I'm 500 degrees, put up like a biker. No a nigga eat. I spend time on this medicine. I'm gone off the leash. Shawty gone in my sheets, in my sheets. I need right down that highway. She like it's Broadway.
See what I mean?
Dude.
Like it's just it's so good.
And it's not like all these transitions and effects are just thrown on. Right? It's I don't know really how he can even go about it. And maybe he just like has some writing clips and then he does it after the fact, like this would work with this or whatever. I don't know. I don't have that brain for that, but no, everything works really well. There's not like a whole lot of writing, but like everything showcases it's so good. And he just makes the game look incredible.
Right. No, like his reshade is so good. And we just continue to say that every time we watch a piece of his content. And God, he has to be the most mentioned name on this fucking show. Like I think a lot of it just comes down to the fact of like his frequency in the way that he puts out content. I mean, for the better part of this season, dude, it was like 1 to 2 edits, maybe even 3 a week, which, I mean, that workflow is insane.
Yeah, no kidding.
But like, I look at it from this standpoint of like, man, it's like you said, there's not a ton of writing in this, but it's like every shot is super well done. I love his slow-mo because like, God, he can make the wheel spin at a really high frame rate, and you don't get that like jitteriness. Like it's just so clean and crisp. Every image is, in focus. We're not having any issues. He's got motion blur. He's got the whole package, and it just delivers, man. Like, for me, this is still like a really, God, it's just solid. There's no complaints for me. I don't have any feedback to give on this because, and I didn't think I had any notes the first time I saw this go around. Like, there's a reason why people know who he is, and it's for stuff like this. Every shot has its purpose. The transitions are really cool. He's got a little bit of visual flair to it. It's not overdone. Yeah, like it just makes sense. It's solid, super solid.
Yeah, I can't even fathom trying to make anything like this.
Yeah,
no.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that he had submitted for this week. And I ended up actually watching this one up here, the Who Knows edit. And it's really fucking good. Like, it just seems like it's getting better and better every time. But for me, it's, kind of along those lines of, man, it's just like what you expect from a guy like that. You don't. I tried hard just for you. Well, all right, we'll give it a watch since he is the number one fan. Oh, look, okay. Before we watch this, like, look at how pretty that is.
Holy shit.
Right. Like, you can't tell me that this is bikes. I don't know. I gotta figure out what the fuck he's doing. But yeah, dude, like, this is so pretty. I don't really know. But yeah, man, like, this one, I've watched this already, and it's super good. Got some camera shake. He's got the black bars. It's on Bamland.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby, I'm sober. I must have lost my mind. It's kinda hard to say it, but I gotta get my shit and be going. Yeah, it was fun for the moment. Now it's about that time. Yeah, alright. It's hard to keep me around.
Such a cool shot.
Nobody holding me down, down. I got my head in the clouds. Yeah, I'm walking out that door. Ay, 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 ay. Get up and go. Ay, 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 ay. Baby, I'm going. Ay, 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 ay. We may do this all again, but who knows?
Oh my god, that
shit, dude.
fucking... Alright, I'm sorry. That fucking Cadillac is back.
I can't hear it, so I don't think anybody else can.
Fucking leave me alone, asshole. Change the fucking... Never mind. I won't say it. No, dude. Like, this is... It's so pretty. God,
Dude, I can't even like wrap my brain. It's like it looks like bikes, but it doesn't, and in the
Right.
best way possible. You know what I mean?
Right.
That is crazy.
Mm-hmm. No, like this is really, really pretty. I love like the color grading. It's so
Like this, like the
yeah,
reflections. I don't understand it.
yeah, man. Like this is really, really nice. The motion blur,
Yeah.
dude. Okay, so like this is what I'm talking about. We've touched on this in the past, and I've seen guys. God, it's gonna be so difficult to like get it just right. Maybe is it right? Oh, yeah.
Oh, it kind of yeah.
Maybe I can just slow it down. Playback speed 0.25%. There we go. So like,
Right. Yep.
so this is RSMB in a nutshell, right? And when guys have too much motion blur on, you'll see some tearing, but you'll see tearing like a lot more when it's like you'll see it in pieces of like footage like this where it creates this bubble. But if you look at, let's go back a little bit. If you look at this, like even this image right here, yeah, this is like the perfect amount of motion blur. You don't see any, like, yeah, you got a little bit here, but you're not going to be able to fucking pick that up. Like we're slowing this down to 0.25 times playback speed. So a quarter speed. And there's very limited tearing, but everything else is super crystal clear. And that to me is so nice because you can fuck up motion blur so easily, and it's so easily overdone that when people they get a hold of it for the first time, and I was very skeptical at first when I got RSMB because I started playing around with motion blur a couple of times, just the native one out of Reshade, and I noticed how much tearing there was and how much motion blur you would get. And it can create a really cool effect. So I use motion blur, the Reshade native one, for all of my hyperlapse footage that I do. And
Oh, yeah, okay.
because you will have a shit ton of motion blur when you're doing that stuff. So, but all of my like, I do RSMB as like an overlay for the rest of my project, and I let it analyze, and it takes for fucking ever to get that shit to process. But it's such a small amount of motion blur that it really helps just kind of elevate that piece just ever so slightly, because it doesn't seem as video gamey when you get shots like this.
Right.
And it just, again, it's just a little fine nuanced detail that takes it from a really high level creator to, you know, even like the highest level that you can possibly achieve, the full fucking package. So
yeah,
no, for this, like, dude, the amount of motion blur that he has is really nice, and you see it a lot when you have shots like this where there's a lot of moving shit going on in the foreground or in the background. It really helps keep that rider in focus and add a lifelike aspect to it. Because it doesn't have to be much, but a little bit goes a long way when it comes to this stuff. One thing that I really enjoyed out of this was the in and out of focus. So you can see it a lot in this. Like we'll see.
I was gonna ask about that actually towards the end, if that was
deliberate
or if that was just the autofocus going on.
Yep. So that's autofocus in my opinion.
Okay. Okay.
Like you're gonna like this shot
right here. Yep.
Like
I was gonna ask about this one.
So that's autofocus. But
okay.
What that is doing is autofocus can be a blessing and a curse. One thing that I really like about autofocus is you can get shots like this next one coming up, where you see that rider. It looks so natural and real because, like, oh shit, we had to pick him up again.
Yep.
And you were just transitioning from that focal point, and then it allows this really natural shift. Now, it's tough because if your autofocus speed is set too high, you'll get really weird images. So you have to find that sweet spot, and I think Pax nailed it here. Like, that was it. Yeah, it's really cool. It just looks lifelike, man. It's not not jarring. It's not visually jarring. It's really pretty. Like, it's chef's kiss. Like, hats off to you, man. This was really cool. It wasn't. I mean, I'm impressed, man. I thought when I saw this get submitted, I was like, God. Well, first of all, we're not doing submissions this week. But second of all, please don't fucking blind me. I really don't want to be blinded. But no, I was pleasantly surprised. I got black bars. I got a really clean, crisp Pax edit that, for me, like, it really felt like this was aimed to please me. Because if I saw this, I'd be like, wow, this was really awesome. Like, this is so well put together. It's clean because you don't need to rely on visual effects to be a good editor for this fucking game, man. Like, you can have smash cut after fucking smash cut after smash cut. And it doesn't matter because his fucking camera work's dialed, his reshade's dialed, and his pacing is dialed. Like, everything else. The ice cream cone. He's got the sprinkles with the RSMB and the color grading, and like, it is the complete package. And it's not this flashy, overdone transition-wise stuff, which, don't get me wrong, I love that kind of stuff too. The visual effects piece is kind of wild. Like, for me, I love the fact that he's going and playing in the space that, like, INT was. We watched one of his edits. It's called Poltergeist. It won Documoto a couple years back, dude. It's fucking insane. But that is not my personal cup of tea when it comes to, like, edits. I really like a really clean, crisp edit and not a lot of frills. Because if you can do this really well and get the praise from me and other viewers, yeah, man, it's so cool, and it's so God, it's just nice. It's nice to see guys that do this at a really high level not have to rely on all the flashy shit to make it look good, because I feel like there's a lot of editors that rely on those transitions and everything else to make it cool when you don't need that. You just need to be fucking dialed with everything else and you'll get plenty of praise. But yeah. Oh shit, Damo's here. Dude, I watched your LACR edit. It was fucking it was sweet, dude. Really, really, really solid. I loved it. It's the fucking I saw it on Shady's Discord and I watched it. Yeah, awesome job, man. Dude, I know we kind of running out of time, and I'm running a little long-winded here, but Damo is fucking a legend when it comes to animating shit for this game. So, like, post-process, right? So, do you remember that edit? Oh, fuck, I can't remember what one it was. Maybe I'll look it up. Let me see. What one was it? Oh, yeah, here.
Oh, with the tree, the leaves, right?
Yeah, the fucking branch breaks. Man.
Yeah, dude.
It's so good. It's so good. I think it's coming up. Another staff favorite. I forgot that we watched this.
Yeah.
It wasn't submitted, so that's why it didn't get viewed, but I recall this. Because this is on Sword's ad. Oh,
dead.
He's dead. Oh, come on, where is it? Oh, whatever, we can watch it. Dude, I think Sword, when we were talking about this, he said something along the lines of, like, Damo doesn't know how to ride on two wheels. He's constantly doing a wheelie.
yeah. Yep.
It's like the Axel Hodges of fucking bikes. There it is. Yeah, right here. This shit, dude.
Yep.
So cool. So cool. So cool. Yeah, but that's what I'm talking about, dude. Like it's the fucking little things, man. And yeah, fucking Damo's sick, dude. That when I saw that, I was like, fuck, bro, what? Like all the overlay shit that people do with like the helicopters or the fucking trucks that are driving. Yeah, all right, it's cool, but it like looks video gamey. But man, when I saw that, I was like, all right, that's some next level shit. So whatever he's doing, that was fucking sweet. So yeah, I do want to highlight that one. But yeah, again, I digress. I go back, dude. Pax's that last one was so fucking good, man. Like, hats off to you, man. That was so sweet. So sweet. Yeah, dude. I don't know. You have any thoughts on that? I think we kind of beat that dead horse.
Honestly, well, no, I'm just kind of sitting back enjoying it. I'm a little starstruck. I wasn't expecting any of this. This is sweet. Boy, that was so cool. Just, I know we keep saying his name Sword, but yeah, that was just a really fun night. And then, yeah, that edit specifically, I remember we were all just like floored at that because it's just, it's the little things that nobody really even thinks about. But Damo was like, you know what? That'd be cool to do this. And it fucking, hit it out of the park. Just that little, what? Less than a half a second thing, right?
Yeah. You don't even fucking notice it. God, I did something similar to that. Oh God, it would have been videos ago. Oh, I think we talked about this and it was oh God, where is it? I can't remember what that. There it is. It always fucking rains.
Oh, yep.
I'm sick and tired of this shit, man. Fuck. But like the devil's in the details, right? So like this edit, I think this came off the heels of that Sword app, and I saw Damo's animation with the tree, and I was like, "Oh fuck, dude, that's a really, really fucking good idea." So I definitely stole that kind of realm from him. So all credit to him. But Sword, and we had talked about on his episode, rain edits and how a lot of people get them wrong. And for me, I was like, all right, well, I want to do a rain edit and I want to get it right. So, and this is where I also talked about hyperlapse. But like animating the fucking water to look like it's running, the rain overlay, everything. But it was the, this.
Right there. Yep.
Like the nuances to that, and it's not at the level that Damo did it at, but it was like,
but if you're not looking at it, you're gonna miss it.
Right, like it's the water droplets on the tear off, and it's gone. So not as in depth as Damo's, but like animating something where you would see the water be removed from the tear off. Another thing was the rain in slow motion. So like all of these full speed clips, it's not, rain doesn't show up on a camera like you would think it shows up on a camera. It's going to be very minuscule unless it's in slow motion, which we see, I think, coming up in this next clip here. Yeah. So like right you can see the droplets. That's when rain really shows up. So that was kind of like one of those things where learning the the nuances to like the details, the shit that nobody really gives a fuck about except for creators and like good creators. So yeah, just a little toot my own horn there. I did throw this one in here because you had mentioned it, and being that I had 4 picks, I'll give you your 4th pick.
Yeah.
So this is my newest one that I put out. I spent a little bit of time on this, and particularly kind of in the realm of this detail-orientated conversation. My detail orientation when it comes to bikes edits has been getting lens flares right. And how a lens flare looks on a camera is something that I think a lot of editors get wrong. And dude, it's so hard to get it to look right. And if you mess it up even a little bit in it, like I said, this isn't absolutely perfect, but it's pretty damn good if I do say so myself. But if you just add the lens flare, it can be a little jarring. And I feel like people could benefit from seeing kind of what right looks like, in my opinion. So anyways, yeah, so we'll watch Gold for to round out this episode. I almost died there.
It was really good B-roll. This, again, looks incredible.
You are a star. Fun to see you laughing with your gold teeth. What you want, make it yours. Backseat, I hate it in my gold teeth. Backseat, I wanna see you touch me. Backseat, you tell me in the Sunday. Backseat, in the apartment.
That was such a good shot.
Backseat, in the whip, I feel disgusted. Ain't nobody waiting, ain't nobody waiting.
Yeah, like you said, man, and it's kind of weird, you know, talking like not critiquing, but you know, kind of reviewing your own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the attention to detail. Obviously, I know you, and we have very similar outlooks on things. But it's the attention to detail that really just wraps everything up. You know, on top of having a good base of just knowing how to make good content.
Right, 100%. Yeah, so like one thing that I wanted to highlight is lens flares, right? Okay, so in this shot, it's pretty easy to accomplish this goal when it comes to lens flares. So you can see how much light is pouring into this image, but it's being blocked out by the bike. And again, I'll just go back into quarter speed here so you can really see what's happening. And as this progresses forward to our light source, you'll see that lens flare start to form, and you would see this through the spokes. So like you can start to see it starting to wash this image out, and then it gets to the point where it's like full blown, completely hitting your camera source, right? Or your lens. Like this is what a lens flare is going to look like in a super, super, super overexposed environment. But again, it's that nuance, right? So Another really good example of that would be in this shot here. So, like, you're getting this light source, which I just so happened to pick over here because it seemed like it was the brightest part of my screen. And as we progress through it, we see that that light source is dropping down into the shot. But as it hits the rider, that flare is going to go away ever so slightly. And it's going to come back. Again, was a little quick as far as that flare coming back, but that's what it's going to look like. Is it's going to naturally kind of flow. Normally, you would see in a real world environment, it will start to like trace the outline. So I suppose I could have spent more time and masked off the actual rider, but that's a lot of fucking time.
Gotcha. Sure. Yeah.
But for all intents and purposes, like that's how you do lens flares, and that's how lens flares would appear in the world or like naturally through a camera. Yeah, this one was super fun to put together. I found the guy that made this song. I just stumbled across his music on SoundCloud, which if you're an editor, dude, go. I get it. Like, everybody likes the popular shit, but go on fucking SoundCloud, man. There's so much undiscovered underground music that is really, really solid, and fucking nobody's ever heard of it, and nobody's probably ever put it in an edit. So, yeah, I mean, it's all on Spotify too, but it's really easy to find some underground cool shit on SoundCloud. But he was actually following the So-Called Project for quite some time. So I stumbled across him. I was like, oh, no way. Clicked the follow back, downloaded one of his songs, and now I connected with him over Instagram. I was like, oh, fuck, dude, this is sick.
Oh, yeah, dude, that's sweet.
But yeah, so like that to me was a pretty neat portion of this. And this one was really fun to make. I had missed, oh God, I think we talked about it in one of the earlier eps this season, but dude, I had missed making, like, not, for all intents and purposes, this is an ad, right? Like, this is promoting the season 16 gear lineup that's coming out in September. Yeah. I missed making like super, super interesting stuff. And I think once I get the rest of the monolith shit done, my goal is I'm going to do a Blur 2. I think that's my next project that I'm going to work on.
Okay.
So yeah.
Sweet.
I'm really excited for that one. I think that one's going to be a really fun project to kind of continue that. Because that one was like really the big step in the right direction for me as far as.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Like, that was the catalyst to be like, okay, like, I'm done kind of just having fun making ad content. I want to tell a story and do something along those lines. So
I want to sit down and really, yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah. Man, this was fun. You know, we're just over, well, we spent 20 minutes talking about real life dirt bikes at the beginning of this show. So I would say, like, this was good. As far as, you know, a content.
No, this was, no, I mean, it was like, not that every time isn't laid back, but this was just more a fun kind of reminiscing type of thing.
Yeah. 100%.
And, just enjoying, you know, stuff that we previously enjoyed. Super cool. And we had a surprise drop in with a couple sweet dudes in the community. So that was fun.
Yeah. No, and it's great. Like, Pax has been a longtime viewer of the show. He tunes in every week. Probably just get my reaction. Well, actually, yeah, no, that's what he wants. Because I'm forced to watch his content. He holds me at gunpoint and tries to blind me. But no, it's all love. I'm really happy with, you know, I get it. It's a holiday week. People are probably prepping to do something this weekend, and we're kind of winding down the season. So it is really cool to know that we've garnered some actual, like, fans of this show. And that was kind of the purpose of tonight's episode was to showcase, like, hey, I know we sit here and critique everybody's work, but here's a lot of the pieces of content that we found were absolutely stellar, that we really enjoyed, and we can look at these through a positive lens and just kind of appreciate the content creators that we have that do submit to this show. Because shit, man, I mean, without people submitting to this show, I think it would just get kind of boring. And well, I guess, I don't know, because we can always just go look at the latest like we always do. So
well, there's the extra layer of being interactive, you know,
right,
and kind of almost knowing that we're being listened to, right? And not
Right.
like that really essentially matters to us, but it's just nice knowing that, well, you know, I keep saying it, but it's just really easy, like Joman, right? That our advice is being taken and being understood, and in our opinion, cool stuff is coming from it. So
Right.
it's just nice to see that progression.
Right. You know, as much as we say, I think the better way to frame it is like our feedback isn't falling on deaf ears, if that makes sense.
That's a perfect way to say that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like this show can be beneficial for everybody, no matter what caliber of creator you're at. I will say this, I'll caveat that with the fact that I have to be in a good mood if you're brand new. Because there have been some edits that we've watched this season where I was cranky and stressed out, and oh man, like it just felt kind of bad. It felt bad doing what I was doing, but you know what? It's my show, and I'll say what I want to.
Exactly. And life goes on, right? So
Yeah. And for the most part, I do try to hold my tongue. The purpose of this show is not to drag people down. It is to build people up. So to the people that caught me on a crabby mood, man, I'm sorry. I'll try to do better about that, but shit, dude, you just can't win them all. You can't win them all.
Nope.
Kind of we're just gonna be, I guess.
And on top of that, we're just some guys.
Yeah,
Nobody
we're just
knows
two.
us, really. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
Right. Like, who the fuck are we, dude? Like, we're nobodies.
Yeah.
We started a fucking MX Bikes Edits podcast. Like, how fucking lame is that shit?
No, can we take a second to just imagine how fucking niche this is?
Dude, yeah. Okay, so like let's look at this. There is 2 concurrent viewers on this stream right now, and one of them is you. So like that's that's where we're at, right?
We're
like,
fucking niche, man.
Yeah. We are like such a small portion of this community. And you know, I think the reason why Bikes has so much content out there from the editing side is the fact that it's a little bit easier than Sim. Also, like, man, there's just a wide swath. Like anybody, I mean, I guess anybody, whether it's Sim or Bikes, can go and hit record on OBS or NVIDIA's tool and do this type of stuff. But our niche is bikes, and there's a large player base that does create content, and yeah, there can be tough days, and honestly, for the most part, it's really not that bad, man. Like there's a lot of content creators out there that are making stuff that's passable and plenty good, and then there's still like a majority of the content creators are probably just trying to have fun. And if we keep that mindset going into this for season 3, I think it'd definitely be easier. So yeah, again, I have no idea when season 3 will come back around. I think Josh and I are definitely looking forward to having a couple of weeks off. And it'll be well deserved. I don't honestly, the show really isn't going to change all that much. I think between
No.
seasons, I think it's
No,
just
I don't think so.
I think it's just us taking a break, letting some of the content creators take a break too, because they're probably going to have some new techniques that they're going to pick up and work on throughout that time period. And maybe we have some new guys that enter the space, because right now it seems like there really isn't a ton to pick
It just
from.
seems like there's a lull. I'll 100% admit, well, I've touched on this the past couple episodes, is even me, I haven't even been playing the game. So
Right.
I just think that's, well, I mean, my reality, since I'm not right now, it's easy for me to say that seems like the case because I'm not even involved, but
Right.
It just, it seems like the game as a whole is in a lull.
Yeah. And I don't really know why. Maybe people are gearing up for MTG because
I was gonna ask, has that been announced as that one? Yeah, I don't know, and I don't know what was the other game. That was kind of a thing for a while. I don't know. There's other things that go on. I don't know. I have been so far removed from anything gaming or anything. I have no idea.
Right. No, and I think there's a lot of hype around MTG, and it does look like it's gonna be fucking amazing. I know it's gonna be a microtransaction hellhole. Oh, it's gonna be so bad for that. But I get it. I 100% get it. But if they better have a good replay editor for that, because if they don't, what's the purpose of building a game on UE5 like that?
Oh, right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Like you want to talk about a game that is going to take motocross video game content to the next fucking level as far as edits go, dude. If it's built on UE5, first of all, I'm gonna have to build a completely new PC to do edits on that shit.
Yeah, right.
Like it would grenade my 2060. Like I'm pretty sure it would. My 2060 would get ejected out of my motherboard at the speed of sound, going crashing through both my monitors and hit the wall if I tried to start that and like film on that. But dude, if it's not solid, it's going to be a huge letdown. And I know that's not their priority. Their priority is 110% esports. But man, I wouldn't say it's a large portion of players, but it's for the viewers of this show. Man,
dude, yeah.
I'd be heartbroken because that is going to be the biggest thing for me to pick that game up. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. That and mod support. Damo says we need camera keyframes. Yeah. Okay. So that's. Yes, we do, because Sim has it way easier when it comes to setting up shots. But man, that's what kind of makes MX Spikes like kind of fun though, because you have to be really fucking good with the sticks to be a good editor for bikes. Like I'm talking like really solid. So there's a little bit of I kind of want there to be a skill gap when it comes to that shit, because keyframes can really help speed things along when it comes to editing. So, yeah, I think that would be a great opportunity to at least allow that. But I think I like that. See, this is all right, because I fucking suck at this game now. Like, the fucking 12-year-olds or the 14-year-old kids, they're fucking cracked. But I'm fucking good at this. I'm really fucking good at making videos. And that's my thing. I'm the ARL champion of making fucking videos. I'm not, but I'm at least a fucking podium guy. So, like, I'm a title contender. But like, I can't qualify for an aerial event. I'll get my fucking doors blown off by 15 seconds by some kid that I just don't get it. Maybe it's because I'm old. Maybe because I play in third person and I stick tap and I fucking just don't care. I like having fun playing video games. And we did our time sweating it out to try to make Ariel. And I would say it was
There was a couple times we were close, but it just, oh my God. That was just to get into the night,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. To be your, your Dayton Briggs, right? No shade to him, but like literally, dude, to be like the 37th guy, it was months and months and months of prep to get good at this fucking game just to be shit on. And like, all right, I'm done. I'm going to go find something else that I'm really good at, like designing stuff, doing gear, making videos. That to me is way more important. And it's fun. It can get boring. You can get stale with it, but dude, for me, it's Anyways, I digress. If MTG does not have a solid video editor and they don't have mod support, that game is DOA. For me.
Well,
personally.
absolutely. And you bring up a good point about the paywall. And everybody was really leery when MX Bikes was, announcing the shop.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think it helped some people, but
100%.
also dissuaded a lot of. So I don't know where the shift is, if it actually helped the community or hindered. I know there's people on both sides. It's a tough situation though, because obviously you can't expect people to create really high, incredible things for the game and not be compensated for it, right? But then it gets like it's really easy to go down that slippery slope of paying for fucking garbage and devaluing everything that is worth anything. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I realize I'm in danger of being on a soapbox, but
right.
It's going to be interesting how MTG handles that.
Well, that's the thing, right? Is like if they were to do it smart, because what happened with the shop is it got flooded with creators.
Because everybody wants to make some money.
Right. And like I think all creators should be compensated for their time. However, not all creators create equally. So your JVs, your Stone Riders, your Hell Machines, your TFCs, your Hurrens, your Bradley Clays, like guys that make really dope shit, yeah, they should be compensated. But when you've got fucking a pack of 10 helmet paints out there for 50 cents or whatever the fuck, like, come on. Let's be real here.
Yeah.
Those are free mods. If you want customized shit, so like, okay, so here's my thing is like, I grandstand a little bit when it comes to the mods shit because like the label stuff, I told myself no matter what, I will never release a PSD, and that's the biggest thing when it comes to shop, right? Like you have to release a PSD if you're going to do any sort of gear or anything like that. Like you can't just sell base paints. I never wanted to give any of my IP to fucking anybody. If they want my shit, they can go get the blank like public release shit on mods for free, and if you want customizations, you have to come to me because I want there to be a specific style of font and I want it to look exactly the same across the board for everybody that runs my gear.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate the people that do and come and pay me for my time. Do I make a ton of money doing it? Absolutely not, dude. I do this shit because it's fun and I get creative enjoyment out of it. But yeah, it helps pay the internet bill every month. So that to me is that money goes directly to the creator. It doesn't go to somebody that's hosting it on a site that all it does is a GUID lock it. So for me, that was my thing is like it watered down and overinflated the price of everything because now they set the bar like every track is worth $1. Okay. Well, a JV track is worth $1, and then some Joe Blow down the road, well, his track is also worth $1, and it doesn't have anywhere near the quality of a JV track. So, well, we should probably give JV more money. Okay. So now JV tracks are $2. Oh, okay. So somebody released this compound and it's $2 because you get 3 tracks. Oh, well, I'll just use JV again. JV released a compound. Well, now it's $4. It's like, all right, we're starting to drift into this realm of possibility of like, dude, fucking mods are about to be $10 for a track pack. And it's not. I
To
don't know.
further that, right? There is, which arguably is really cool still, right?
Mhm.
There is a lot of mods, but is everybody going to be buying this $10 pack? That's where my confusion with the division is, right? Is
Yeah.
there's a lot of people that aren't going to want to buy that and split up playing from their friends because, oh, hey, I have this. One person's like, yeah, this is super sick. The other person's like, I don't want to spend $10 fucking on that, right?
Right.
And then like what am I saying? The shelf life of these is being destroyed. You know what I mean?
Right. Tracks that are released on shop are dead on arrival. Like,
Yeah.
I still find myself, dude, we went back on Sunday, and this is like the first time that I've picked up this game in quite some time that wasn't either filming or like just making sure that graphics worked. Dude, I had way more fun playing on 2023 tracks that were free that now got uploaded to shop, which is really unfortunate because a bunch of us deleted those tracks and
oh, really?
You gotta go and buy them, but they're a great track. Or playing on Farm, or I mean, I fucking hate Walnut. Like, no shade to Fat Muppet, it's a classic track, instant classic there, but I suck at it. But dude, we set out to do all of these free tracks because there are creators that are putting stuff out for free that just do it for the love of the game. And I think when Shop came out and it started getting flooded with creators, it really, like you said, it devalued a lot of the guys that have been doing it at a super high level. Dude, like fucking I mean, he did it initially, but like Dash Pack, dude. His shit that he ported over from Isaiah's models, man, the thousands of dollars that he spent to get the rights to that and to import them in this game and release them publicly for free. So it was so cool. Like that is bar none, like the love of the game, like in a nutshell.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And now everybody wants a slice of this already small pie that they're never going to really see anything from. But for me,
And that's the unfortunate part, you know?
Yeah. It just, like you said, it devalues all of these content creators when you have every swinging dick in the like the creator space throwing their shit on shop because they want to make $6. Like, don't do that. Release it for free, man. If you want customization, have a Discord. Do your customization there. People will pay you happily. I don't know. I don't know about that. I think people are just looking for PSDs and shit. And maybe, I don't know. I personally would never spend money on graphics or gear because I can do it. But
sure, absolutely. Right.
There's a lot of people that don't have the patience for it or don't have the creativity. So they find a designer that they like and they go with them and pay whatever their rate is. One thing that I do have to fucking say about this is, and again, we're getting super soapboxy here, but fucking sponsorships, man. Dude, holy shit. I have never been inundated with so many sponsorship requests from, I'm talking no name fucking teams that are like, hey, I want you to do work for free.
Yeah.
And it's like,
and you're like,
yeah, I appreciate you coming to me, but the answer is no. I already have 12 mouths to feed on my own team.
Yeah.
And they're already a lot to handle because some of them don't know the difference between having chrome goggles and turning fucking reflections on when I added fucking reflections to it. So, yeah, no, we're not.
Yeah.
But then I've also worked with teams like Session where I get to work with guys like Dashpack, and we have a mutual kind of like agreement where I do a shit ton of work for those guys and they help me out with other shit. And like I've garnered those relationships and I got to know those people really well throughout my time as a content creator, and they've helped me get better.
Mhm.
So yeah, of course I help them out. But I've also worked with teams like East Action Sports where, yeah, they were big and they were growing really fast, but I garnered a relationship with them and they still paid me for my time. And
Sure.
it was, yeah, at a discounted rate because I was doing a ton of work and they were an exclusive team with my gear. Like they sought me out for the label brand. So it's like, yeah, of course. But every time that I've gotten a sponsorship request, it's like, no, we want shit done for free and we have 15 fucking riders. And I'm like, no, sorry, I'm going to pass because
because fuck you.
Yeah.
No.
Because no. Like your team isn't going to do enough exposure for me to bring in business. Like it's just not.
That goes on to people just wanting free shit, right? Just to look cool.
Yeah. And like that to me, the other fucking thing is, do people change their minds so quickly? Like they will go from, and with like the meta and all this other shit, dude, it's impossible to keep up with that shit. Because now it's like, oh, we need 6 different bike kits because everybody likes a different thing. Okay, well, that really fucking sucks because now I have to do 6 different bikes. And I know the struggle because I do it for my own team. And I have fun with it. It's like, all right, this is the color scheme that I'm going with. You get 3 different colorways. Don't fucking ask me to change your number on this shit. I'm talking about you, SZA, if he ever fucking sees this. Because that guy changes his number like every other fucking day. And he changes his fucking bike. And it's like, dude, fuck. Just like, come on, man. Work with me here.
Just fucking pick one.
Just pick one and ride it. Who gives a shit? But like that, to do that at a level like for a different team where it's not my own guys, where I can be like, dude, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I can't say that to a supported team because like I'm gonna lose that relationship. So
right.
But yeah, no. Anyways, there's my rant about sponsorships in this game, dude. If I had to give any advice to any like newer players or people that are on like newer teams, dude, don't ask to get free shit. It first of all, like it's the quickest way to see the door and be told no, or you're gonna be going down the rabbit hole of finding some, I don't know, less than desirable results, or even better, just keep it in house, dude. Find somebody that's interested in doing graphic design for your team, because like that's how I got my start. I did that shit for GRD and I started a business because of it. And now it's like, I don't know, like I said, it pays a fucking internet bill every month. So
hell yeah. Which is sick, you know?
Yeah. Like that's all it really ever, I didn't ever plan on making a buck, but my time isn't free. And yeah, so don't ask for free shit, man. And honestly, like asking for sponsorships it's got to be a mutual relationship. You have to provide value to those people. And if you don't,
well, it can't be one-sided, right? Yeah.
Right. And that's always what it is. It's like, oh, can I get a discount? It's like, well, yeah, sure, I guess. But are you going to be one and done? Like I've had people that apply for sponsorships and then never fucking order a damn thing. And it's like, well, that kind of fucking sucks. So I don't know. Is what it is. Anyways, I think that not
little tangents tonight. That's all right.
Yeah, we're all over the place. Anyways, I don't know. Like if people are gonna watch this stream back, next week we will be breaking down my largest project to date. So I know we started off this season kind of looking forward to doing that episode. We did a little bit the first episode, but I had too many beers and that episode ran way too fucking long. So I think it was worthwhile having a 2-part episode with year 1. And so next week we'll be doing the first half of year 1, going over the Trident team's portion and Sessions team portion of that edit. So stay tuned for that. And then the last episode of the season will be the SCD portion, man. And that one's fun. I love that. That was so fun to create. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, man, until next time.
We'll see ya.
Yeah, see you guys.
My Mona Lisa, baby, my masterpiece, babe. When I'm in pieces, baby, you give me peace of mind. You tell me we'll be fine. You always get me right when it's dark. You're my light. Baby, that's why I need you on the regular. And if it wasn't, you know it would never work. Got me going out my way to show you what you're worth. Don't go. I put in the work to hear you say misery missing your company. See, I'm pulling at you that way. Ooh, if this is where you're supposed to be. I woke up in the city, I ain't seen your face. Almost lost my mind, medication. 5 stars for participation. It's a COVID operation. I'll be here this way, you station. I lost my Bonnie. By that time, you already banged it.